Good evening, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Texas Biker Radio number 387. My name is Mel Popeye Moss. My co-host, Mel O.G. Robbins. We are with Texas Biker Radio and Sons of Liberty Riders MC, who sponsors this show each and every week, along with a few of our friends. And good evening, Mel. How are you doing?
Doing okay.
Yeah.
The world grinds on, you know?
There you are. And we want everybody to know we are live tonight. So that means you're not going to be able to see Mel because he is about 60 miles away in McKinney, Texas, talking to us via his cell phone that picks up every noise he makes over there. People will say, "What in the hell is that noise?" And I promise you, if he goes and starts hitting the keyboard, we hear it.
Yeah.
If he farts, we hear it.
I'm multitasking.
That's right. Oh, wow, Mel. Hey, just to prove to our audience that we are more than just pretty faces as bikers. Let's talk a little bit about the State of the Union last night and the behavior of Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats, and also the impeachment that went on today. Let's just spend a few minutes on that to prove that we're just more than what they see on the cover. How about it, Mel?
Well, I got to tell you, that was one goofy looking broad. She definitely has denture problems.
Nancy Pelosi looked like a cow chewing her cud.
Yeah. And then did you see her babbling to herself?
Oh yeah. And then Mel also, she was shifting papers around. I know Trump had to hear that. She's doing it all over the damn place, and and I'm pretty shocked he didn't turn around and say, "Shut the hell up, stop what you're doing." But man, it was really a good uplifting speech, as the Democrats acted like they had rocks in their pants and they couldn't get up to applaud the things that they would and should care about. So we'll see if they change their tune and they want to start cooperating so they can have something to run on. I mean, my goodness. I mean,
the problem is some of these meatheads out there keep electing the same people.
There you go. All those people that have been there for decades, and I'm talking about both sides of the aisle, have been there. I mean, no wonder people within the Congress are corrupt as hell, because we keep letting them do it. We keep sending them back. So, and for the first time, we have a non-politician in the White House. And boy, let me tell you, they're not liking that at all. At all. Because he's upset the gravy train. And I can tell you right now, we need to give him 4 more years so he can dig a little deeper into that gravy train.
Well, you know my opinion on the 4 more years. The liberals got pretty well rocked today when the Senate voted for acquittal.
Oh yeah,
on both counts.
Yeah.
So that's got them licking their wounds and shaking their head. And what's going to be even worse is you look at the pathetic running field they have for president. They're scared to death that Bernie's going to make it. Which is hilarious if you think about it. But when Trump gets elected again, I honestly think it's going to be a bloody 4 years, and that could be literal. I hate to say it, but I just don't think they're going to be able to maintain themselves.
You're exactly right. It should be interesting. You know, the Democrats are scared to death that Bernie's going to win that thing. And so, man, it's just going to get interesting as the little communist gets closer and closer to actually winning the Democratic nomination. He calls himself a democratic socialist. A socialist is a socialist. It doesn't matter whether Democrats or not. And so they basically taken over that party, and Nancy Pelosi has lost control of it. That's the reason months ago when she said that, hey, doing this is a dangerous thing. And she reluctantly was pushed into it. And she needed to step up and say, oh, hell no. But instead, we got to where we're at today. They impeached him, that's right. But they also acquitted him of the 2 articles of impeachment, which was not bipartisan. And that's what it takes to impeach a president. And so that was never going to happen. Never going to happen. So it was a total waste of time, a total waste of our tax dollars. And, I mean, after it was over today, Schumer and all of them were up there. They were bragging about the Capitol Hill police and all these other people that had all this overtime and did all this extra stuff and built cabinets so they could put their cell phones and stuff so they couldn't reach them and be texting while all this was going on. I mean, all this extra money and the cost of it all. And I can't wait till they release the final figure. We already know those other investigations cost about $32 million that went nowhere. And Mel, how many homeless people could that have taken care of? I mean, just think. There are things out there that needs to be done, and the Congress hadn't done a damn thing for 3 years. Not a freaking damn thing.
They've done their damnedest to impeach him.
Yeah, that didn't work. Like the Russia, then it was Ukraine. I mean, it just keeps going and going. But hey, look, it is what it is. But Rush Limbaugh.
Well, there was another funny thing that happened during the State of the Union. Mm-hmm. They keep touting the fact that Trump didn't shake Pelosi's hand when she put it out there.
Uh-huh.
But what a lot of people fail to recognize is Trump didn't shake Pence's hand either.
That's exactly right.
He just handed them both their speeches and turned right around. Now, I would not put it past him to have told Pence before, look, don't put your hand out. I'm not going to shake your hand because I don't want to shake Nancy's. I mean, I can see that playing out.
Yeah, well, I don't want to put words in his mouth now. If that didn't happen, that's speculation, huh?
That is pure speculation.
Yeah. I think we've seen enough courtroom shit to know what speculation is.
Yeah.
And hearsay. But Mel, probably one of the Tuskegee Airmen, and the guy 100 years old getting up and down. That was amazing. It was amazing. He's one of the last ones left, and everything that went along. The husband that came home from overseas, and then they had a wife and the son of a soldier that had been killed in Afghanistan. They had, they had all this stuff going on. And Rush Limbaugh received the presidential.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that award.
The Presidential Liberty Medal or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're still, listen, they're still screaming about that. The liberals are just, well, OC was the one that was really screaming about it.
Yeah. Wow. Let her scream.
They're calling her the new unofficial Speaker of the House.
Yeah. Of course, Rush Limbaugh is just recently been found out to have stage 4 lung cancer, and he did look frail to me. There in
it's supposed to be advanced.
Yeah, so
I'll tell you, it is. It's really kind of nerve-wracking, the number of people that are coming up with cancer here lately.
Yeah. And while we're talking about that, I'd like to tell our audience that I'll be out of commission for a couple of weeks. I too have cancer. It's not lung cancer, and I'll be going in this coming Monday, for surgery. And after the surgery, I guess they'll decide whether it's spread anywhere else, and whether I'm going to get chemo and radiation and all that stuff. I've been through it before, and but it's a little bit different this time because of where it's at, and so I'm gonna struggle for a few days after it's done. So everybody, I'll be down for a few days, or maybe a week or two, but I promise you, any of you people out there that think that I'm done, that I won't be out there campaigning for bikers' rights, working against tyranny and people that want to violate our constitutional rights, all that kind of stuff. Anybody that thinks that I'm finished with that, have another think coming. And I'm damn sure, as long as I can get on the 2 wheels, I'll be on 2 wheels. And I'm not done yet. And so give me a couple of weeks. We're going to figure out who's going to run the radio show. And here, I may be the producer behind the scenes because of my inability to, I think, to talk for a while. And so that's what's going to happen. Mel's going to have help me figure it out. Oh, gee. He's going to have to help me
We'll
figure
get something figured out.
Yeah. And so we may have to put Geezer in here. Of course, he's a man of few words. Oh, Lord, help us.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun anyway. That being said, Mel, let's talk about Mitt Romney for a second. He came up in the news today.
I mean, what a horse's ass.
What a piece of work. And I did a little short video on Facebook today over it. When I heard that stuff, I mean, why did he go before the media? He didn't need to do any of that.
He was trying to make the point that it was faith-driven.
Mm-hmm.
His vote was purely faith-driven.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really? So like I said in the video clip, he's not a man of faith. He's going to side with the Democrats. He wants to side with the people that want to kill babies, the people that want to kill babies outside the womb. Come on. And you know what, Mel? Did he see the Congress? Did he see that trial? I guess it's a trial. I don't know what the hell it is. And the president wasn't allowed due process. He wasn't allowed to defend himself. It was just months of just getting badgered by them all. Wouldn't let them call witnesses. Wouldn't let them do anything. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. And Mel, we're all about due process, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
I mean, we see enough of that stuff going on here in Texas. And we saw it on steroids in the Congress. But then again, Mel, it's on steroids here in Texas too, because that kind of mess happens every day in these courts across Texas. Whether it be Milam County, whether it be Parker County, whether it be Austin, whether it be Dallas County, whether it be Fort Worth. Hell, Fort Worth over here put up a fence around the damn courthouse to scare a jury half to death. And in Waco, they tried it till we called them out on it and laughed at their 3-foot fence that I could jump over. And that's the truth of it. And man, let me tell everybody, everybody right now, it's heating up in Parker County, Texas. That's Weatherford and Mineral Wells. Yeah. Sheriff Fowler decided he's running for another term. Sheriff Fowler has been in office since 2005. He's 82 years old. He's had a double lung transplant, Mel.
Wow.
And he was described to me as a vegetable sheriff. And I think that, to me, that means he's rarely ever in office. That somebody else is running everything. And it's those crazy deputies that the challengers, and let me tell you, there's now 3 challengers. It's interesting. and Mel, let me see if I can bring this up. It's absolutely incredible, and I probably got rid of it by mistake. Oh, hell yeah. Look what I got, Mel. Listen here. It's a riot. I don't know what I did with it. Anyway, Mel, oh, wait. Yeah, I got rid of it. Don't know how, but I did. So anyway, the candidates, there is a, let me see if I wrote down their names. Yeah, there's this challenger. Oh, wait a minute. This is really interesting, Mel. There's a challenger. One of them is a guy named Scott Gates. Now, he's never had any law experience, which may be a good thing.
I was going to say, Trump certainly dispelled the issue about not having experience.
Wait a minute. This guy, he owns the Ace Wrecker Service. Now, I'm sure he's made a lot of friends out there in Parker County because he has a contract with the sheriff's department and with the police department there in Weatherford. I'm sure he's got a whole bunch of friends that he's really, really pissed off towing their cars away or whatever, maybe coming and picking up their vehicles when they get arrested by those deputies out there without tact. Mm. And those are Sheriff Fowler's words. Those are his words. And so, and he also claims that he owns Lone Star Homes that he rents out to people that need low rent, like $200 to $400 a month. Now, I'm going to have to go out and look at Lone Star Homes and see if he's running a project or something. But I can't imagine. He said he's always wanted to be in law enforcement because he has a brother or brother-in-law that was a marshal and was in the Army for 10 years. Not that he was, a relative was. So if you think a record service owner is the guy, vote for Scott Gates. And then, Mel, there's another guy. Oh, yeah, another one's running. He's a libertarian. His name is Russell Hess. Yep. Yep. And Mel, he did in his write-up in the newspaper there in Weatherford, he did mention the Constitution and justice for all. I mean, he said the right things, Mel. But the problem is, and you've heard me say this before, there's only 2 libertarians in the whole state that are holding office. So it's pretty tough to get behind a libertarian in a very, very conservative county.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
and that's unfortunate, but it's a reality.
Yeah, and the sheriff has been there forever. He's a good old boy, and everybody, he's got campaign signs everywhere. He's probably got campaign signs from 2005. So he's got a stack of them, and they're everywhere there in Weatherford. We saw them the other day, didn't we?
Yep, we did.
Yeah. And then there's the other guy that is running. His name is Darryl Hall, and he's lived out there in Kennedale most of his life. Not Kennedale, Weatherford most of his life, and then right now he is a captain in the Kennedale Police Department. Now he's got all the credentials and that stuff. At some point, we're going to interview him, and I do think he would probably be the better choice, but we have to know what, like I said, the only one that's mentioned the Constitution and the right to due process and all that kind of stuff, the only one that's mentioned that is the libertarian. But like I said, I don't think he's got a snowball chance in hell. I do think this Darryl Hall from Kennedale has the right credentials, and we'll just have to interview him and see if he's along the lines of Sheriff Wayburn in Tarrant County, that he believes in the Constitution, that he believes in the rights of the American citizens, whether they be bikers or whoever, that he believes in due process, that he believes in fairness. And Mel, that's what we said we've always sought from these people in these courts and in these sheriff's departments and in these police departments is fairness. If a biker is out there doing something he shouldn't be doing, put his butt in jail. But don't go out there looking to put him in jail over nothing. Over nothing. And that pisses me off worse than anything. So you guys out there in Parker County, look up here. You have a chance to primary Popeye, Sheriff Fowler, out. Get behind one of these candidates and push them through. Do whatever you can. Give them money, help out with their campaign. Get out there and do something.
Well, you bring up an excellent point that a lot of people miss. And you and I have talked about this several times, and that is primary them out. A lot of people will have the thought process that, well, we got to vote this guy out in the general election, so we got to find someone in the opposing party that's super good. Well, you might have someone that's super good in the same political party.
Right.
And what you need to do is fight like hell in the primary, because they just may whip them in the primary election, and then you don't have to worry about going to the general election.
That's exactly right, because that's what we did to Abel Reyna.
Because you cut their voting base right in half.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people it's obvious in that county that you got people of both parties voting for this guy and reelecting him year after year after year.
Yeah.
Well, if you take them take them on in the primary, you remove 50% of the voting base that was probably voting for him to begin with.
You know, Mel, this is frustrating for me because I'm going to be down for 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. And, you know, I had intended on getting out there to Parker County and Milam counties and these other places and doing the work. Now we're going to need help from everybody out there. If you want change, you've got to go make it happen. You've got to get with your guys in that area and say, hey, let's go do this thing. Now, I'm going to be working behind the scenes, even though I may not be out talking because I can't. And so, you know that we're going to be doing our thing. And there are ways to manipulate, and I don't think that's the right word, Mel. But there are things we can do to help a candidate. And so that's what I'll be doing. Understand, we've got to work now. We don't wait for November. We don't wait. And that includes our legislative agenda. We don't wait. We need to be doing that now. So let's get on them iron horses and ride and get it done and get behind these people. Oh, and let me make this one, Mel. Remember the helmet lady, Representative Nieve? That she put up a helmet bill last legislative session, and you know, we promptly got together and made sure that bill never saw the light of day. Now is the time to primary her out. If she check it out, and I'll check it out tonight to see if she has an opponent, and I'll put it in TexasBikerRadio.org. I'll make sure everybody knows about it. And we'll put these other people, we'll put all these candidates in there, and including the DA in Milam County, who has no problems trying to send somebody to jail for legally carrying a weapon. And no problems because they're in a motorcycle club. Now, that is bullshit. That gentleman doesn't believe in due process because they've done everything they could to deny Patrick the ability to defend himself. DPS officer Tice denied him due process on the side of the road and used information that did not identify him as a gang member. Instead, he used what he was wearing to take him to jail, confiscate his weapon, and cancel his CHL, LTC, whatever you want to call it, because he was riding legal. You know, Mel, who knows if 7 miles over the speed limit was real? That he used that as an excuse. Did he write him a ticket for it? I'm going to have to ask that. Because you think that would be maybe one thing that's left out. So I got a call coming in and I can't answer that shit. Okay. Mel, see. What else? Who else? Well, I'll think of it here later on. I'll put it all in TexasBikerRadio.org, and I'll put it under the title "People Need to Be Primaried Out." We may include the Ellis County Sheriff too, because he's one of them that jumped early on in harassing bikers, and we're just not going to stand for it. We're going to say something about it. And the gang database itself, everybody's heard us talk about it. Everybody's heard what we think about it. But we're going to do something about that, because there are innocent people that have made it into that gang database. And there is no controls that I can tell, any at all. There's no accountability, any at all, by anybody that's within that network that is in charge of collecting the information.
Well, we've got kind of a test going on right now. That one member of our club that ended up in the database for God knows what reason.
Yeah.
A letter has been sent by an attorney demanding that his name be removed. So we're we're following that to see what happens. And we'll just have to wait and see. Now, I think the letter gone out probably a little less than 30 days ago. So there's a little bit of a time element here, but we need to find out what happens with that, because there are other individuals in the database.
Oh, yeah.
Where their names need to be removed also. So we need to see if this is a good, solid process. But at a point here, that database has to be taken to task as to how people are being entered, who's doing it, what information are they doing it off of. I think all of that has to be disclosed. That should be public information.
Yeah. And we're saying to everybody in Texas and across the nation, take some action. Do what it is to defend yourself. Just don't let them get away with this and run over you. Get with your other club members. Get with your whoever the political force is within your state, your county, your city. Do something. I promise you, as soon as I'm back on my feet, and I'm not, if I'm not having to get chemo and all that stuff for weeks on end, I'll be back out there. And one of the first places I'm going to go is to where one of these damn databases is at, one of these fusion centers. Let the innocent go. Follow your own damn process. So everybody, let's do it. Don't be timid about it.
It needs to be taken to task.
Yes.
And I think the harder we push, the more successful we'll be.
Yeah. If you have a COCI or United Clubs or whatever within your state, those things are pure political. That's where you go to get together and make things happen. I know some people poo-poo that and everything else. It works. It works. If you don't have one, form some kind of organization where you are involved in the political process. Because you're not going to get out there and beat it by whipping the law. That ain't going to work for you. That would be a quick way to for you to be in the what was it? The category of be demised. Would that be the right word? I don't know. I'm not that eloquent of speaker, but it's like after Waco when they said, "Hell no, we didn't give the order to attack the police." They would send the Army, the Navy, the Marines, everybody after us, and that was a true statement. That was true. So, maybe you want to give a plug to our COCI? OG? I put him to sleep again.
No. But I will confess that my ears are a little plugged up with this lousy. I can't figure out if I've got some kind of a perpetual cold going on, or it's allergies, or whatever the hell it is. But it is just persistent.
Well, that happens when it's almost 80 degrees one day and 35 the next.
I mean, I go around habitually clearing my throat.
Yeah. Well, you want to make sure you don't get the carnivore thing going on there.
Yeah. Haven't been to China lately.
Yeah. They matter of fact, they quarantined a cruise ship for 2 weeks. They're not going anywhere, except for maybe to sea. But I don't even think they can do that. They've got people monitoring the passengers. So I'm not going to China anytime soon. And if it comes here, I'm not even getting out of the house.
Yeah.
Not without a mask and gloves and maybe one of those rubber suits. But yeah, go ahead, Mel. He's still
go ahead and what?
The COCI.
Oh, my favorite subject.
Yeah.
The Texas Council of Clubs, formerly known as the Coalition of Clubs. Texas Council of Clubs has several regions in the state of Texas. Now, there are also Council of Clubs in other states, and they're just as important because they're all gathering points for the motorcycle community. And especially in the state of Texas, it's a gathering point for not only motorcycle clubs, but riding clubs, motorcycle ministries, veterans organizations, and independent riders. That's why we call it the Texas Council of Clubs and Independents. And we all get together. Now, for Region 2, which is the DFW area, we get together every other month. So that means the next meeting we have is in March, and it will be at Southern Junction in Royce City. The meeting starts at 2 o'clock. Everyone usually gets there about noon because they want to order food, have a few drinks, chit-chat, and get to know other folks. And then the meeting starts promptly at 2. And from there, what we're talking about are our rights. We all need to know our rights, how to conduct ourselves in the event we're stopped, what's going on legislatively, what's needed. And it's basically just all it's all about the political issues, motorcycle bills that might be floating around out there, the elections. And usually if Bill Smith is there, our attorney, he will talk for quite a while on what your rights are and what's going on in those areas. And then the meeting's over at 3 o'clock, and everyone's off and on their way. Now there's no admission at the door. You don't have to pay any money to get in, but it's certainly worthwhile to come.
There you go. And Mel, just so everybody knows, at TexasBikerRadio.org, we are sold out of those coins. We told you there's a limited supply, so unless Paul Landers orders more, that's the end of that for us. And so man, they're actually pretty cool. But wow, Mel, hey, that Milam County DA, I think, is Kyle Nuttall. Matter of fact, he's the assistant county district attorney. So, but that's the guy. And, I don't know that the assistant runs for office, because it may be, well, we'll just have to check it out. And we'll post it at TexasBikerRadio.org. I'll get that done tomorrow. Got anything else, Mel, we need to bring up?
No, I think that pretty well covers it. We'll look forward to seeing you back in the saddle again with your full voice.
Yeah.
And until then, we'll just have to figure out how to do some things without you.
Yeah.
And go from there.
Yeah. Well, I'm not looking forward to any of this, but it is what it is. And, God willing, I'll be back soon. With that, everybody, this is Butch Popeye Moss and my co-host, Mel O.G. Robbins, my co-host and friend, my co-host and brother. Have a good evening and ride safe, everybody. Ride safe.
Be safe. We'll be talking to you.